the first crew from Earth going to Mars. Maybe to stay permanently. I don't know. But it's more just to do some kind of like experiment stuff, and a lot of this is going to be explored and developed through play about who we are and that kind of stuff. So if you guys are familiar with the game Fall of Magic, which is a game that I greatly enjoy. It's a game that I know other popular streamers / Math Squad enjoy. This is a game made by the same designer, so it has a very, very similar design flow and structure. There are some twists and differences, setting aside, but I'm super happy to explore this game. I hope you guys enjoy this as well. But before we get directly into that, let's meet everyone else here besides me. To my immediate left here is Adam / Dexterdamus. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
Hello, I am doing very well. How are you guys doing?
Oh, superb. Thank you so much.
I'm not Matt Damon yet, so things could be better.
Yep.
Ain't
that the truth?
There's plenty of time for us to get lost on Mars and make water out of things that we find.
Get ready to science the shit out of this. Once upon a game, right?
Yeah, I am very excited for this. I had never heard of I like a lot of people like Fall of Magic. I just first saw it for the first time with the Roll20 thing, and
thank
you,
awesome. Adam, for the host, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yep. Thank you, other Adam, for the host, by the way.
Oh, different Adam. All the Adams.
Yes, all the Adams have officially hosted. Every single Adam on Twitch has hosted me now, so thank you very much for this. It's super nice. So
yeah, I am super excited for space adventures.
Me too. So Ross Cowman is the designer of these games, and he was giving me a little bit of tips on how to form this game in about 3.5 hours. So it's super nice. So we're going to be playing a little bit of an abbreviated version of that. He told me what to compress and what to not compress. That's
what's awesome about these like smaller RPGs. You can just talk to the people.
Yeah, and when when you're going to Mars, or when you're telling a story about going to Mars, you have to ration what supplies you bring with you, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're rationing a little bit of our fiction here so we can make it to Mars. So that's our plan here. So thanks you everybody for tuning in and taking an interest in our game of Life on Mars today. Like anything else in Once Upon a Game, the most important thing is that you are interested in playing and you are a human being with a brain, because we all want to hear what you want to say, right? So the number one, all right, let's just go a quick little pre-flight checklist, right, before we jump into Life on Mars and talk a little bit more about life in Once Upon a Game land.
Who's
right?
the other player today?
Oh shit, that's right. Who is our other player today? Nick.
Matt Damon.
Nick hiding in. I know, you look so much like Matt Damon. I thought we introduced you.
Matt Damon stepped out, so I'm filling the role of Matt Damon.
The sexier stunt double of Matt Damon has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. Nick.
I do all my stunts. I am good. After playing Fall of Magic, I'm very excited to see more Ross Cowman games. This hopefully.
Awesome. Yes, me too.
I kill mages.
Yes, we
mages in space. Let's go.
I don't think so. I don't think there will be any Maguses in Magi. I don't know. Magi. There were Magidis.
Yes.
So let's talk about Once Upon a Game a little bit before we jump in, shall we? So there's a couple little things on our pre-flight checklist before we jump into Life on Mars. The first thing is that this is a one-shot. We won't be coming back to this game after tonight. So if there's anything we want to say or like anything we want to explore in this game, make sure you bring it up. Right? We want to hear what you have to say. And the way we do that in a safe way is that we have a rule that trumps any rule that's going to come after this, and that is called the X card, or in other words, the veil, as some people would like to put it. Whenever there's a topic or something like that that is just way too intense or way not what we are aiming for your evening's pleasure, just go ahead and give me a little like X either on the screen, do like an X-Man X, like a giant X, maybe a little tiny one, or just whisper me if you're not comfortable bringing it up with other party members or anything like that, or in chat or something. And like magic, we are just going to get rid of it, and we're going to go back, whatever it takes to fix the game, so you feel more comfortable and safe And the most important part is that you don't have to justify why you're doing it, because as a player at this table, we all agree that we're going to trust you, that you know what your comfort limits are, right? And whether it's 30 seconds after someone suggests something or 30 hours after someone suggests something, if you're not comfortable and you're not feeling something, let it, you can always just say that. That is our escape valve. That is our emergency break glass, in case of emergency, send this fiction ship back home, where you're nice and safe, right?
Yeah, don't think we want to break the glass in space.
Yeah, you don't want to break that glass in space. That's the opposite of going home. That's going to the long home. Yeah. So, but that rule is only as good as if we're willing to follow it. So, do we agree here? We're ready to play these games?
Of course.
Cool. Awesome. That's good. I didn't get a salute though. I need some salutes for this evening's game. There we go. Yeah, we got this. Cool. So just like any other story game, the most important thing is not knowing the rules. It's actually just being a creative person, and not just being creative though, but being an active listener. You want to listen and ask questions. You want to, because together we're creating a story. Not one of us is creating a story. I might be the facilitator tonight. I might be talking a lot right now. I actually don't have any more power than you two have in the game, right? I just happen to have the Roll20 PDF, right, that I purchased, but that's it. I don't actually have. We are all equal stakeholders in this story today, so we want to all do this, and we all want to listen. We want to be curious what each other have to say, and we want to ask questions and empower each other, right? And the way we do this, even if we're listening and no one knows what we want to say when it's their turn, or if they want to speak up, then what we should refer to is the obvious. We want to say the obvious before we say like I don't know or anything like that. You don't have to actually be super creative. Believe it or not, these games do not require you to be a mastermind, like Moriarty level criminal intellect. Draw from your own experiences. Draw from the show you just watched, right? Draw from mirror shades. Draw from anything you can that's in your brain that seems to fit, right? You don't have to try to be funny. You don't have to do anything like that. When you state the obvious in your brain, what's obvious to you is not obvious to anyone else. Studies after studies have shown this. It's totally cool to steal from your life, your friends, anything. Just bring whatever's in your brain that's like, oh, that seems like that would work here. Just do it. You don't have to be super crazy. Everybody enjoys that stuff, even if it's a cliche, because when everybody brings up cliches together, our variations on these things create completely unique things. So trust me when I say that you don't have to do crazy stuff or like push super hard. These games are literally for anyone. Okay, so that is our pre-flight checklist. All right, so are we ready to hop into our little space capsule, guys?
Yes.
Awesome.
Time for dying.
Cool. So this is life on Mars. So life on Mars. Let me just scroll up a little bit so we can see the title here. Cool. So, I have some tokens given from Fall of Magic that we're going to select for our different things here. And the way we prepare for this game is just going right down the list here. So we're each going to select a name. We're selecting a name from the list here on the screen. We have Mew, Dakota, Val, or Hune as our choices here tonight. Any of these names, any of these names striking out to anybody you want to be today?
I kind of want Dakota, if no one else is about to immediately jump on that.
I have two that were kind of hitting me. You pick, okay. Eric, you pick yours first, and then I'll pick the other or one of them.
Okay. I want Mew, if that's okay.
Then I shall be Val.
So we have Mew, Dakota, and Vial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. So now we have to distribute these roles here. right? So we have a commander, we have a pilot, we have a doctor, and an engineer. So that means Hyun will be sort of like an NPC character that we have, right? So, anybody want to be any of these roles? This is a 1-to-1 and on-to function, so everybody will have a name and one of these roles. They will not repeat. There's nothing extra. It's always just going to be these 4 names and these 4 roles. So how do we want to distribute this?
I'm kind of digging the engineer.
I'm digging sorry, not pilot. Don't want pilot, doctor. I refuse the responsibility.
Pilot doctor? You mean an engineer?
Yes, we only operate on pilots.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking about being the pilot. Okay, that's cool.
All right.
And then
cool.
no. I'm sorry. I want to be the commander. Mew should be the commander, and then Hyun would be the pilot.
Good.
Okay.
NPC pilot, no failures.
Yeah, NPC. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so once again, that would be Mew is the commander, Dakota is the doctor, Val is the engineer, and Hyun is the pilot. Awesome. Cool. Super good, super easy, super nice for that. So now we're going to write these things on our little name tags here, and our name tags are just going to be nothing. I think no. I'll make a quick little text to write on top of this, shall we? Just so we know who is Hugh. Hugh is Hugh, right? That's how we. That's how you say. That's how you. That's how you say things. So Mew, commander. I'll make this larger for chat so they can see this, so it's not just us. Mew commander. Dakota. Oh, I should actually put the player as well, right? That'd probably be smart.
Yeah, that works.
I'm just doing this in the order of me being selfish. Dakota is the
well, you are the commander.
Dr.
So.
Dakota, right? Yeah. Played by Nick. Val is the engineer. And Val's
I think something from the book, or not book, but that I saw that's cool to mention also. Similar to Fall of Magic, the names and everything about this is very vague and up in the air right now. Like, none of these names mean you're a female or a male or anything.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
All. Like,
yep. It's all.
We could find out. We could never find out.
Exactly. We can all. It's totally subjective still at this point.
Yeah.
So this is super nice, super easy. Cool. So these are our names, and these are our lists here, just so we can refer to it super easily. Now we're going to choose a counter for yourself. So above here on life, oh god, what's going on? Okay, they're selected here. Right above everybody here. So we have some sweet tokens that I brought in from Fall of Magic because I'm lazy, and they're also beautiful tokens. First and foremost. These are going to be, we have to pick one for our characters and then one for the ship itself as it chronicles its way to Mars. So do we have any ideas that how we want to distribute this? Anybody want to be something? Because for me, jumping out, I want to be the candle, if that's okay.
Okay. I kind of want to be the tree, if no one's available.
Is that one on the right? Is that like an ocean or something?
I think
that is an ocean.
Yeah.
I want to be the ocean.
How do I give this to you?
I believe
here we go.
Click on it. Yeah.
Nick, you are the tree. Congratulations on tree. On becoming a tree. On finding your arboreal self. Thomas. There you are. So now we have our tokens here. I'm going to let Hyun be Hyun should be the sword, right? I feel like that's pretty cool. So all players, there we go. We have a sword for Hyun, and then our ship will be this Raven token. So I'm gonna put this Raven token down here at this blast off to denote where we're going to be. Cool.
That's a cool ship. That's a cool ship name.
Yeah. So
Raven. I like it.
Yeah. Right. Oh, is that it? Wait. Oh my God. Is that going to be our name?
I dig it.
Is it the Raven? Holy shit. Okay, that's kind of ominous, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. So we are the Raven. Okay. Quoth the Raven. Cool. So that was them. Those are the counters for ourselves. And so traveling to Mars, in case you don't know, takes a long time. Actually,
It does.
Even on the shortest kind of path of all the planets doing the planet stuff around the thing that the sun. Science.
Leave the science.
It will still take 6 months, and so NASA took the time to make sure it only takes 6 months for us to get there. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking turns representing on a monthly progress on our way to Mars, right? And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be telling scenes on our spaceship, which is kind of what you see here on these 5 different sections here. We're going to be doing these for these 6 months. And it's super important that we do all of these together. That will be... you don't want Nevermore to be a theme in this game right now, Esteni. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, I should get... that's a good point. Chaotic Corn Dads can... Corn Dads.
Corn Dads.
You asked me, can you please sing some jazz real quick? I cannot sing jazz. I'm so sorry. That's more...
There you go.
It's more, scoot. It's like scat.
Scoot and Corn Dads.
Scoot Corn Dads.
The name of this episode.
AKA Scoot. Operation Scootin' Corn Dads. The first planned mission to Mars on the Raven.
We made it. Toaster corn dogs, everyone.
Twitch flies to Mars. This is welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Sorry, PG.
Sure. Why are we even on the first base? We should still be stuck on Earth.
Leaving things pretty sure everyone is drunk.
We're not. Just Eric.
No, that's probably just me, your commander.
The commander's drinking well. All right, boys.
Mm-hmm.
So
on our turns, so every month, we're going to be taking turns. So we each are going to be able to create a scene in one of those 5 sections of this ship, and every time we do these scenes, so like after every 3 scenes, we're going to move the Raven closer and closer to Mars, and then we're gonna have a little bit of surprise here of what Mars looks like, because there's some extra kind of scenes and cool stuff that we need to do on Mars once we get there, right? Cool.
Yeah.
So, doing that, the only other things to really describe here is that on our turn, when we create scenes and how we create scenes, are determined by what are called protocols, because we're on a spaceship, and spaceships are as space explorers, we are bound by what is called protocols. And there's 2 symbols starting off here. One is that triangle with a question mark, which means we have to describe this prompt somehow into our scene. For example, if one of us chooses to make a scene in the cabin, we can draw other characters in the scene as well, but as we can do kind of whatever we want, as long as we describe what that prompt is and what gives you comfort. So what gives you, their character, comfort. Second, which we have protocols, which are sort of descriptors that we can have and we can add. These are descriptors. We write these next to our names, and we should describe, and we are bound by this protocol to announce how that descriptive is true, or this descriptor is true for this character. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a long, windy explanation, but I think we're ready for an even more lengthier and windier voyage to Mars, right? Oh, thank you for the host very much, AP Gaming. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for showing some love to Matt Damon and crew. We're ready to begin life on Mars. Play order should be kind of whoever wants to begin. We are all kind of okay here. So,
all right, roll for initiative.
Yeah, we should roll for initiative and see who dies first. No, so if anybody, since while I was rambling, hopefully you guys were taking a chance to look at the map here, look at the spaceship. Maybe if something was kind of percolating, and if you really want to take a sip of that percolating fiction tea, go ahead and do it and burn your mouth. So, who wants to do it? If nobody wants to, I think I will begin. But
Actually, I'd like to take a sip if nobody else minds. Take a sip of that tea.
Thank you so much. Adam,
Okay.
please.
All right. So, let's see, where am I at? All right, there's my ocean. My scene's going to be in the cargo.
Okay.
Okay. So, so the cargo of the ship, I guess the scene kind of starts like with a moving overview of it. It's kind of like a bunch of rows and bunch of like columns of just like stuff that we're taking to Mars for our mission, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a bunch of like just random containers, big, small, laying all around.
Totally.
Yeah. And so we come down kind of in one of the rows, and you see Val standing like there's like a terminal, like the logistics terminal or whatever, like to keep track of everything, kind of like typing at it.
Mm-hmm.
And Val, I got lost in the description because I'm still not sure what Val looks like. But yeah, so Val's kind of typing in, just like making sure a bunch of the stuff, like some of the like the stuff in the container that's next to him is all good. And so he like kind of he finishes up and he turns, and then he kind of like hunches over and he starts coughing, and he like puts his hand up like and then as he moves his hand forward, he sees like a collection of like mucus, but that's quite bloody.
And that's where we end the scene.
And that's what he's holding in his hands.
That's kind of disgusting, his hands with it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We do not, NASA, in a cost-saving measure, do not give us napkins or tissues of any kind, right? Nick, if you would give me the honors, I would like to go. Otherwise,
okay,
I would
sure.
I would totally cede the floor to you, though, buddy. If you have
No, I'll go ahead.
Okay, cool. I too will go to the cargo bay. However, I will not be near Mr. Sicky Pants. This will be a little bit before that. We are on the ship. This is a few days after launch, and we are in a sort of like special celebration of it being Christmas on board the ship. Mission Control has just asked us to go ahead and look in the logistics bay stuff in cargo compartment 44C-4 for what Mission Control Santa left for us here. And as the commander, I just received word of this, so I'm getting ready to distribute the gifts to everybody. So I think everybody might be in this scene here, as as everybody has assembled into the cargo bay here. Everybody was kind of humming, "What child is this?" or some kind of Christmas carol. Jingle bells, yeah, exactly, right. And so we have sort of like a camera. We might see this scene actually unfold from like a Mission Control like camera, like tilted like down, isometrically on into the bay, right? So you see me like pull out this like huge like almost glorified Tupperware container of something, and you see all these like little wrapped packages, right? And each of them have little like tags on them. And I lift up the first one, and Commander Wu looks at it, and she goes, "Val, this is here's one for you, Val. I guess Santa came with you." And this one says from Santa, and I think she says, "Oh, is this? It looks like. Do you have a kid?"
Yeah, back home.
Oh, I didn't know you had a kid. It looks like what's her name? Sorry, she looks pretty young. Like she tried to write her name. As like I'm handing it to you.
Yeah, Lily.
Lily. Oh, that's such a sweet name. here. This gift is for you, and it's about the size of a something about the approximate size of like a box of the size of an index card. Or like
cool.
A set of
And he
cards.
takes it, and he's like got a warm smile on his face.
Yeah. Okay, and the next one here is for it just says to the dock, and it's like a big one. It looks like it's about the size of like a shoebox or so, and he handed it over to the dock.
I think
doesn't have a name, so it must be from Santa, eh? Hey,
Dakota kind of like very kind of tentatively takes it and shakes it for a second in her hand, just to kind of feel the weight, and she kind of like looks up at you blank faced, and she's like, "Thanks, I guess." Just very disaffected.
Yeah, it's like, come on, it's what's wrong, Doc? It's the Christmas spirit, man. We just took off where everything's fine. Like we got green lights across the board. Mr. Control, can you please advise Dr. Dakota to I don't know. Mission Control, we need an emergency rendezvous. We need to requisition some more Christmas cheer for our doctor. Please advise. And it's like, copy that, Commander. This is Mission Control. Santa and his sleigh should be arriving in approximately a few hours. It's like a big joke that we hear, like there's laughter and stuff.
What's that?
As you kind of have like a glum kind of gloomy.
Yeah,
grinchy kind of.
I think after hearing that, Dakota's like, hardy har. Yeah, I'll just go inject myself with some Christmas spirit when I get out of here, like 200 cc's or something. I'm sure, right? And maybe I can wipe Santa off the hole when he ends up crashing into the ship. That'd be great, huh? And then she kind of just like stalks off to go stand.
You're such a Grinch. Is what I mutter under my breath. And Hyun, oh boy, Hyun, you got the mother load here, and I bring out like 3 or 4 like tiny little packages for him. And I think Hyun smiles, and he's like, oh, thank you. These are these are my and he starts opening one of them, and they were like probably like some sort of like fancy like Ferrero Rocher kind of like chocolate kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right. And he's like, "Oh my god, my favorite!" Right? And it's just like this nice little tiny little reminder of home, right? So I closed the box. There's nothing left in the container. So there was nothing for Commander Mew. So what I hold in my hands is an empty container of Christmas presents.
Oh.
So that's my scene here for Gargo.
We take a fast turn down.
Yeah, starting off on the strong.
All right. Deep in the dark rabbit hole.
Hazelnut truffles, absolutely, Estiani. That's exactly what was in Hyun's gift.
Yeah,
hazelnut truffles.
All right, I know exactly what I'm doing. So I think I'm gonna move to the cabin for my scene.
Okay.
Cool. Let's make sure that's not on any words. So I guess the scene, like, let's say this is probably I think a few days have passed, so let's say we're like after New Year's, kind of.
Okay.
And basically the entire ship's been getting drunk in the meantime. This is like 2 a.m.
I'm not sure we're allowed to get drunk, but okay. I'll believe you. Play on.
We tequila onto the space thing.
Okay. Oh yeah, we rendezvoused with a Soyuz capsule
Santa
that
showed
had
up,
vodka beneath the seat, right? That's how we did
Santa
it.
brought tequila.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
Okay. So let's assume for all intents and purposes NASA has lifted its alcohol regulations on space that are billions of dollars.
Sure, totally.
Seems fair. Okay.
Yeah.
So the camera kind of slowly pans in through the door on the cabin scene, and Dakota's kind of sitting on the edge of her bed, and she you notice that she's kind of thumbing her finger and kind of wringing her fingers around her middle finger. And as it kind of zooms in on the camera, as it kind of zooms in on the hand, you notice that she has 2 rings, one on her actual ring finger and one that she's wearing on her middle finger. And they seem to be the same, but one gem happens to be in a different set than the other, but they're still in the kind of same like metallic. And she's bringing her fingers around the one on her middle finger, and as she does that, and as she kind of like hears the jovial cries from around her from the other room, she kind of just like cracks a faint little smile and sits back a little bit.
Aw. Okay. So that's the 3 scenes here, and that means we have completed 1 month of our flight.
Hooray!
So the Raven progresses to the next zone here, and we remove our tokens, and we begin again. Creating scenes.
I could go very obvious right now.
I have cancer.
Leavington says we were moonshining some jet fuel. This is not Night Witches. we're not going down that road.
We had some excess.
Oh, nice try.
I could go very obvious and choose satellite.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think. Look, that's once again be obvious if you want.
Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant scene. If you want to just, I trust you. Want to do that stuff? That'd be cool. I want to see that. I mean, personally.
Cool. Yeah. So I will go to satellite then. So. Yeah. So Val is. Does satellite mean just like there's like a room where we have satellites? Or I guess what is that exactly?
I think it's supposed to be like a comms array kind of thing.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
But,
I think
Okay,
that's what that means as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just want to make sure. Okay, so yeah, he is in there. Yeah, he's in like the comms room, and he's like sitting in front of the display where you would make the call.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like it's like you can the camera comes up from behind him, and you can see his leg like tapping and like it keeps moving up and down, and as it pans up, you see like a call like prepared and like a comms ready to send out.
It's like Skype.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Boop, 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 ba-doop.
yeah, he hit enter, and then the ship falls out of space.
Mm-hmm.
And we all die because
Because the Skype crashes.
As it crashes,
Fucking
there's just
Skype.
3 dots hanging where the ship was before.
Because we paid, we did the lowest bidder for a contractor. We spared no
Curse you,
expense.
Microsoft!
We spared no expense.
Yeah, so like a comms is ready to send out. It's like some random long comms number.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, and then it's been saved as it's been saved like under like I assume like we can like have like contacts or whatever there, like we have like mission control and blah 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 and whatever, and then it's
Favorites.
saved as yeah who is this blah 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 person, and it's saved as like just Val dash home, and his like foot's tapping and his hands kind of like hovering over the like the send button.
Mhm.
And he looks up at it and he looks at the button, and then he shakes his head and he like hits another button, and like the comm goes like slides away, like erasing the thing that it was about to send out, and he turns and stands up and he walks out of the comm room, just kind of like looking back, and then he like turns off the light and just leaves it alone.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
All right, I got a scene if I want to go.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm still formulating mine.
I'm gonna go to the galley. And I think what we're going to see here, because I just want dedicated as my as my trait
Cool.
here. So we're in the galley.
What traits?
I think it's once again it's an all scene where everybody's here.
Yeah. Okay.
We're like eating chow. It's like dinner or whatever. This is like
Yeah.
day like 45 or whatever, right? Like it's getting to be routine. We're no longer wearing our full like flight suits or whatever. We're like, we're wearing our little like Henley little like undersuit stuff.
Yeah.
Like we're being a little lackadaisical. Commander Mew is certainly not though. She is still very uptight and very like still wearing her things. And I think Hyun is giving her a little bit of crap for it, being like, "Come on, we're 45 days into the mission. Why are you still uptight?" And she says, "We might be day 45, but we're day 45 of like 397.
Yeah.
There's still a lot that can go wrong, and I am still the commander, and I'm still have to be your all's parent." For this mission, and I think we see a flashback of her with her husband. We are at we're at some sort of like training facility for the Air Force or something like that, and you see her looking up at the sky. And while we're like looking at the sky, we see something like darting across the sky, and over like it's basically a very quiet scene. However, like all of a sudden, like fading into the scene, clearly not in her head, but to the audience, like we hear like these signs, and like we hear like like error signs and like bad things going on, and like this sort of like dramatic thing, and then we see a quick flashback or quick maybe flash forward to her at a funeral and seeing her husband deceased being laid down into the ground, and then we kind of cut back here and she kind of still has like a kind of like half smirk on her face, clearly like very serious, very dedicated, like she's doing this for somebody, for you guys. So I am dedicated.
Quite dedicated. What to do? I think I'm gonna go to the flight deck. Let's move here.
Nice.
So, presumably the ship isn't just on autopilot the whole time. So Huon's probably up here hanging out at the flight deck.
We have to do adjustments every now and again, right?
Yeah.
Course corrections. So Dakota ends up walking on. She's probably just finished up with like a round of medical checks on the entire team because we're nearing month 2 and she wants to make sure everyone's still up to code, as it were. She kind of steps up behind Hyun and she rests both of her arms over the back of a chair next to him, and he kind of turns and he's like, "Do you ever just want to stare out at it all, gaze out at the void, think about everything that's beyond us, forget about what we left behind?"
Do you want one of us to play Hyun?
I kind of have a specific
okay.
direction.
Yeah, go ahead then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so after Hyun says that, Dakota kind of just like peers forward into the glass, and because of the way that the light's hitting it at the moment, she kind of sees her body reflected in it. She thinks on what he says for a minute. She kind of ruminates on it, and she sort of just stares out into the blackness of space and kind of ruminates. And after a moment, she notices that kind of at the periphery of her vision, as if it were just something she was faintly hallucinating, her form kind of slowly, subtly changes, becomes a little bit shorter, becomes a little bit more, a little bit perkier, a little bit keener, and her dress changes to some of the garments that she used to wear back on Earth, and she kind of has this naive, hopeful smile in her face. And as she looks at it, the expression of the woman she sees reflected sort of dampens, and then it becomes more dour, and it slowly just twists into this horrible grimace, and then this face of fury, and then pain, and then just utter sadness. And after a moment, she feels her eyes start to well up a little bit, and she turns her gaze, And Hyun kind of turns to her at the moment, and he's like, "What? Were you staring at a star for too long or something?" And she kind of turns to him, and she's like, "No, just glad to be away from it all, I suppose. Just thinking about what I'm glad I'm putting behind me."
Too busy staring at a black hole.
Our future looms
Of
before
emotion.
all of my feels.
Cool. Another month down.
Mm-hmm.
Super good. Super awesome, guys. Thank you. Boom. So, Adam does not actually have to go next if somebody else wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Nick
I know,
or
it's just
myself wants to go. Yeah.
I
I got one if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Feel free.
Cool. I'm also going to go to the flight deck. And I think this will be between this will just be a scene for me, but I will be talking to Mission Control. So we have a scene. It is like our quote unquote dawn, like we just woke up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to the flight deck, relieve. No, nobody was actually at the flight deck. Like we're on course. Our corrections were made previously.
Yeah.
We're at the point where now we're kind of like just coasting to Mars. We haven't begun our descent or whatever. So at this point, I'm going through all our checks and all our things because I'm very meticulous as a commander, and I flip a switch, and I get like a sound that like it sounds very very similar to the sound like we heard from my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And Mew radios over to Hyun. He's like, Hyun, we're having an issue with the SRS thruster on sector Bravo. Do you know anything about this? And Hyun's like, no, what are you talking about? It's like, okay, I think you please report to the flight deck. And we look at this together, staring at this thing. We try to flip the switch again, and like it won't go. Like it's like jammed like halfway through, and it goes and like won't complete. And we're like, oh. And Hyun's like, might be jammed. Someone might have to do an airwalk to get it. And I think go to like report this to Mission Control while looking out the window, being like, Mission Control, we're gonna have to send someone outside. We're having an issue with SRS thruster in sector Bravo. That might delay or impede our descent pattern, or at least make us change where final destination is. Please advise. Over. A few minutes later, because of the delay, we hear back from Mission Control. It's like, Mission Control, we read you, Raven. Mew, we're gonna need you to definitely get someone out there to fix this pronto before our descent. So you have approximately 10 days to do this. Shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah. That's what they say. That's what Mission Control says.
They're very official.
And she looks outside. And she's like, oh boy, this was kind of just like a kind of not routine, but like, oh, this is going to be a risk. And this might put people to the test a little bit. So that will be my scene of her being a little bit concerned for the crew for this problem.
Yeah.
I have a scene.
Okay. Cool.
If Adam doesn't have anything immediately.
Oh yeah,
But
feel
it
free.
doesn't involve Adam. So, I think we're gonna go. I know it's the cabin, but do you mind if I repurpose it for this and say it's the med bay for this scene?
Yeah, totally. That's fine.
Same prompt. Okay. So, I think this is probably maybe a few hours after The crew's been alerted to the fact that we've got some interference going on the hull of the ship, and I think Mew has nominated Val to go out as the engineer. Seems like the most logical path.
Yeah, makes sense.
And Dakota's got Val sat down on kind of a futuristic stretcher, if you want to call it that, a cross between a hospital bed and a stretcher.
Yeah.
And she's holding a clipboard in front of her face, and she kind of looks from it and then looks up to Val and then looks back down. And she's like, "These results, why haven't you told anyone yet?"
Didn't want anyone to worry.
And she kind of flips back and forth, and she's like, "How did you get this past mission control screening? Like, they should have detected this at some point, shouldn't they have?"
It's been I've had it for a while. It's I don't know, and he's like he's having a hard time like talking about it, but he looks down and like then looks back up, and I had to come out here and do something with what I got left.
Oh no. Oh,
I think at that, Dakota kind of like lays a hand gently over his wrist, and he's like, "I know this is going to be hard for you, but I appreciate that at the very least you were open about it with me, if not with the rest of the crew. I should bring these results to the commander, but I think for your sake I'll avoid it for the time being. I think I admire her for me a little bit more, and I admire my loyalty to the commander."
Thank you.
Awesome.
She takes comfort in the friendship they share.
Yeah. In sharing a secret. Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry to interrupt. I'm super excited about that. That's awesome.
It's
I can't wait to broach that. Yeah. Cool.
So I think I'll kind of do a similar thing. I guess maybe Galley can also be like our airlock, and so I think I'm gonna give us a scene of Val like. So the two of you and Hune are kind of like on the outside of the airlock, like looking out as you see like the shut door of like the two-piece system.
Yeah.
So you see, like the window into that part, and Val's like standing there in the cool looking space suit.
Decompression chamber? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
No, just
Yeah,
airlock.
yeah.
Yeah. I know.
There's two doors, like and they shut and close as needed, whatever. And yeah, like the
something sealed is a word. Something sealed, right? Hypogenically sealed, sealed, scientifically sealed.
Science.
Whatever.
Scientifically sealed
We are
door.
in the science.
Scientifically sealed. Go ahead.
Like the,
No, is it hermetic? No, I think that's something
Hermetically
Whatever.
sealed, I think is right, actually.
else. Okay. Maybe I'm right.
yeah, both are shut right now, and you can see like through the window or whatever, and the inner one, Val and that with like his spacesuit on, and like the big old helmet and stuff. And he looks over. He looks like through the window to the three of you, and he just kind of gives a thumbs up, and then pushes the big button, and the outside door like, and like the window to the inside door gets that little like chill.
Yeah, the frosty.
Yeah,
The frosty of
like,
space.
Yeah, just immediately forms,
Yeah.
and then he kind of like kicks like he's got the obviously has like the
tether.
The tether, yeah.
the tether thing connected, and he kind of just kicks off and like starts floating out into space. And then
Val, this is Moo. How are you doing out there?
I think we're all good out here. And then he like they probably have like the whole like little jet thingies to kind of control you, because he's like kind of like, floating. So like
yeah, the little
starts-
stabilization thrusters. Yeah, totally.
yeah, and so he like kind of goes down to the bottom and or the back, because it was like something with our thrusters, right?
Yeah. No, it's actually what's broken is one of the thrusters that like our ship uses that you're using right now to like adjust.
okay,
itself,
yeah.
Right? It's like
So,
one of
yeah,
those
it's
things
like-
that's broken.
He goes like around it into the bottom.
Mhm.
And sees the one and like
What's it look like?
let's see here, and he gets up to it, and like very slowly like kind of pulls out like a thing, like a wrench or something, and starts like kind of like going up apart at the panel. And I think it's not too bad. I think one of the power couplings just got decompiled. Shouldn't be too difficult to get it back on.
Can you reinitialize it?
I think so. Might take a couple minutes.
All right, well, take your time. Let us know how we can help you.
But he's like, yeah, he's working until like it kind of like fades a little bit, and then he shows him putting the panel back on.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he radios back in, and yeah, it's back on. Can you run a test and see if it's all set?
Yeah, I look to Hyun and be like, Hyun, like gesturing to the flight deck. And he's like, checking. And like it turns on, and like probably near you see like psh, 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 like a couple like tests, right, of the SRS thruster.
Yeah.
It's like Hyun says systems are nominal. Can you confirm visually before returning? And it's fine probably.
Yeah. And yep, looks all good from out here.
All right. Return home, Val.
Yep. He turns and looks, and then his eyes widen as he sees like I guess I'm not sure what they're called when they're in space moving. I'm not sure if it's a meteor or what it is, but like something heading like you can see like it's like heading towards the ship.
Asteroid, yes.
Yeah. It's not like it's
when it's in space.
Is it like in a collision course?
Yeah.
So would like mission control like should we end the scene with like mission control? Be advised, Raven, we have an identified fast moving. Like should we end it that way? Is that what you're intending?
Yeah, and then Commander.
Yep. What's up?
I think I might be out here for just a bit longer, and then that'll end it.
Oh, okay.
And then he'll get I'm thinking he'll get dedicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. The totally gets dedicated.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
He's gonna throw himself in the asteroid. Oh.
No, you're not gonna throw yourself in the asteroid. God damn it! No, Val, Val. Yeah, we're gonna be screaming each other's names in a little bit, right? Cool. So that is the end of our third month, and now we move to our fourth month. We have been aboard the Raven for 120 something days.
Yeah.
So is it safe to assume we've like hit the asteroid belt by this point? Oh wait, the asteroid belt is never mind. That's a completely
I'm not
different
sure
region.
what you're talking about. I
That's
don't
on the other side of Mars.
but I don't know enough about space to dispute
Wait,
you.
is it on the other side of Mars? Let me space this. Hold on.
I think it's on the other side of Mars. I think it's between Mars and Jupiter.
I think it
so.
is. Let's double check.
But good, nice
Yes,
job.
it is. Kuiper belt is on the outside of Mars. There we go.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So it's 10:02. So I think how about we go for our first break, shall we?
Sure,
We're
sounds good.
getting up to our hour mark, and since we're right at the top of our fourth set, so this is probably as good time as any to call it here for a quick.
And what cliffhanger? An asteroid's gonna hit us.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Ooh. Oh my God. That's called how you get audience retention. Cliffhanger. Yeah. Cool.
You're welcome, internet.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Adam.
We did it, Reddit.
So, thanks guys for tuning in for the first hour. Give us about 8 minutes.